Welcome back, everyone, to It's Last Call. Last Call with the alcohol only on It Is the Last Call YouTube channel. Joining me here on the line, this man will be fighting once again. It is UFC Fight Night 207. He'll be taking on Derek Minor on it's going to be a banger of a fight once again, only on at featherweight. Well, after now a 2-fight win streak, he's looking to make it 3 in a row and get into title contention. I give you once again a man who has a story, but even Lazarus would be impressed with. I give you Damon Jackson. Damon, we'll start off here. It's you, Derek Minor, 3-fight win streak on the line here. What are you feeling right now? It seems like everything is just coming up roses for you. Every fight you're doing, everything seems to be working. You're getting better as each fight goes on. What is it like having that almost renewed confidence?
Yeah, no, definitely is huge confidence. I'm going into this fight, busting my ass, just trying to work as hard as I can just to make sure that I do get that 3-fight win streak. It means a lot to me to get in the top 15 this summer, and the top 10 by the end of the year. And I want those big fights, so I'm ready every week. I'm just hoping someone falls out for a big spot I could step in on and show up on a short notice or whatever I had to do. I'll fight anybody to get in that top 10 by the end of the year. It'd be awesome. And my goal right now is my eyes are set on Derek Minner, and then past that, we'll see what happens.
Let's talk about Derek Minor. What does he bring to the table? I mean, compared to the last two guys you faced, Charles Rosa and Kirk, what kind of fighter is he compared to those two?
Well, like Rosa he's got really good jiu-jitsu defense. And I think that Derek has pretty solid jiu-jitsu defense, but his wrestling is better than Charles, which is, a little bit different. And he strikes a lot differently than Charles. Like, he throws pretty wide shots and heavy boxing, not as much kicks and stuff. So I think that, he's definitely got some stuff that I've got to watch out for on the feet. But on the ground, I think that, like, my wrestling is going to, I'll control where the fight goes for sure. And if, I'm not going to be diving in on those crappy shots and giving up that guillotine. I know he likes that guillotine a lot, but I'm not too worried about that. We have a couple of guys in the gym that go for guillotines a lot. So I'm looking to go in there and do my same game plan, go forward, attack him, and look for that finish.
When you have a guy like that, is it easier or tougher fighting a guy like him where he's a jack of all trades, master of none? He doesn't do anything great, but there's nothing that you can really look and go, well, he's lacking in this, or he doesn't do this well, or this is a hole. I mean, is it easier for you, or is it tougher having somebody you look and go, all right, he's just he's a well-rounded fighter?
A lot of the times, like, whenever I do my game plan with coach, it's usually like one of those things where I prep for my own faults and my own things I have to worry about for the person. I don't really prep for their style, because my style is going to be basically the same every time. It's going to be, I'm going to take whatever damage it takes to get someone to the ground. And on the ground, I can hang with anyone. So, whenever I'm out there looking at my opponents, I'm looking at how I'm going to use my game plan. So his game plan seems to be every fight is he goes super heavy in the first round, and then he kind of fades out in the second and third. And, that's something I pride myself on, is my conditioning. So I'm going to be ready to take it to the second, third, and I'll be looking for that finish for sure. And, I think that he definitely has some solid boxing, but he does get a little wild. And I think that that's where he uses a lot of energy, and he goes for submissions that aren't there a lot. So he's definitely going to have to conserve his energy for this fight and make sure that, he doesn't gas out, because I'm going to be ready to go all 3 rounds.
Take me to that, because you mentioned that, since you've been working Fortis, you've been focusing on what I do better, what I do, what my strengths are here. Since you've been with them, I know the records improve, but what else are some of the things that Fortis MMA has done to help you become a better fighter? Like, what are some of the things that you've done differently since you joined them?
I've been at Fortis. I was one of the first fighters at Fortis when it started. So I've been there from the beginning. And, I've been with Coach Saif my entire career. And, like going through that, I think that brings a lot to the table whenever, he knows exactly what my style is. He knows exactly what I need to work on. And, all the guys in the gym, it's like, we do get used to seeing each other and stuff, but, we have so many people that are well-rounded and they're better in other areas than me. So I get to show them what I'm good at and they show me what they're good at. So, I get those different looks all the time. And, being at the same gym for as long as I have been, it's definitely a confidence builder whenever I'm doing good against people that I know are good at a certain thing and I'm beating them in certain areas. So, my wrestling is always going to be good, but I get to go in there and test it with these guys that have, good jiu-jitsu or good kickboxing or whatever it is. So, I'm definitely ready to roll. And, it's, mindsets. I'm zoned in right now, focused on the fight.
It's funny. I've talked with several fighters, including from yourself, like Grant Neal, Alex Morono, who've all fought there, and they all say the same thing. But there's no big names there, but there's a lot of tough fighters, a lot of tough champions, and that it's a gym that focuses on more mental approach, more all right. Let's focus on what you do better. As I said, you've been there since it's in inception. How nice is it having somebody who's looking to go, okay, I'm not just going to work on your technique or this and that. I'm going to work on, making you just a smarter fighter.
Yeah, no, I mean, Saif he's by far the smartest coach that I've met in MMA and any other sport. He definitely brings a lot to the table in that sense where he has a different approach with everyone's game plan, and he knows how to coach every style of fighter. We have guys that don't like to be screamed at in the middle of the rounds. We have guys that need to be slapped, slapped in the face in the middle of the rounds. We have girls in the gym. We have guys in the gym. So he's the best at what he does, and it's showing off slowly but surely. We're climbing up those rankings with all of our fighters, and it's really cool to see. From when we first started to where we're at now, it's cool to see how much his evolution has been and how much the evolution of our team has been from him and his style of coaching. And we have guys that come in for their camps. We have a handful of guys that he lets come in, but the way that he does it, it's just no nonsense. It's you come to practice, you're there to practice for the time that he has slotted. He doesn't let everyone pick out their own schedule. So if you want to practice with our team, you have to come on a certain time, a certain day. You don't get to pick and choose, and you don't bring in your own coaches and all that kind of nonsense that other camps do. So I think that's a big reason why we're so consistent, is because he's so consistent in the way he coaches, and he doesn't put up with anyone's crap. So
we're going to go back to all this. We're going to talk about your previous fight, but take me to just the journey to this, because I remember we first had you on, it was your first UFC stint, and it was, you're coming off of the Ronnie Jason fight. You've been drawn with Levon Makshavi. You're released after 3 fights, and it's not like you did bad. It was 0-1-1-1. You took on one guy who basically failed a drug test. You went up and took a short notice fight on against Nancy Medeiros at lightweight, and then you get cut. And then you have to fight back here. How much is this time around for you like gravy, where it's like, okay, I went through hell. I had to literally fight back on the independent scene, whether it's Legacy or LFA. I did PFL. I had to work, secondary jobs. I had to go through a pandemic, goddammit. How much of this time around for you is like, all right, you appreciate it more because you've had to, do what a lot of other fighters have to do. You've had to really earn it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been a trip, man. It's a pretty crazy. If you look back on everything, I try not to do that until someone asked me something about an old fight or whatever. But just looking back at it, it's been a crazy trip, and I think it definitely has built me to be the person I am and the fighter that I am. Because I dealt with a lot, getting cut so early. Because when I made it to the UFC the first time, I'd only been fighting for about a year and a half. So I turned pro. I had my first 9 fights in about a year, like a year and a half. And then I made it to the UFC, and I hadn't even started really training full. All I was really doing was jiu-jitsu and a little bit of boxing. And that was the only thing that I had for my training. So, just learning how to train, learning how to cut weight, learning how to, plan out my fight camps a little better, and just making sure that I'm, working with the right people at my gym, making sure that, I'm getting good rounds in and taking full advantage of all the, the people that we have there. So, I've learned so much from it, and I'm just, ready to keep moving forward. It's been a good little. My last contract was great. I was 3-1. Ilya, the guy I lost to, is just a freaking beast. But I wasn't prepared for that fight. I didn't prepare the right way, so I paid the consequences for that, and it won't happen again. So, I'm coming after this fight. I'm going to come after this hard because I want that 3-fight win streak, and then I want to go through and finish out this contract as hard as I can, and win all four.
Take me to that fight, but Topuria fight. You said you weren't ready, and how much of that do you chalk up to the pandemic, where it was from March, May 23rd, 2019. You fought, once, and you didn't fight till March 6th, and then the pandemic really hits, and then you're looking around going, "Oh crap! Money is drying up. Oh crap! This is going on here." How much you look back at that fight and go, "I took it because I needed money, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have just waited longer, not rush into something because, oh crap, I was worried about money and paying bills and making sure that I'm not forgotten."
No, it wasn't like that. It was more just because like a lot of people don't know my full story, but I have four daughters, so I can't rely on MMA money for my living. I work every day. I still work to this day. I work every day, every single day a week. I work, and that wasn't the issue. The issue was me rushing it because I got that short notice, and I won the fight, and it was a great win for me, but I wanted to like get back in there as soon as I could. And, my camp just didn't quite work out because we had a couple of guys that had injuries that I normally trained with. And then I wasn't hitting it hard on my boxing instead of, I was wrestling and grappling more because I thought that was what the fight was going to be. And, I wasn't boxing as much as I should have been, but if I would have really looked at his style. But whenever I first got the matchup, I thought it was going to be more of a ground matchup, and I was rushing the fight, trying to get it as soon as possible because I didn't want to wait until the next year. And that was what I wanted. It wasn't really financially motivated. It was more just, I wanted to keep moving with that momentum I had from the Betic fight and definitely not be forgotten. And I didn't want people thinking that I got lucky somehow with the Betic fight. So I was just trying to go out there and get another win as quick as possible.
How tough is it sometimes continuing to do this in terms of it takes time? I mean, as you said, you're a father of four. I'm guessing, you work a full-time job, which takes up a lot of time. You're in training. Oh, by the way, I gotta, be a father for my daughters. Oh, by the way, I gotta be a good husband or boyfriend. Oh, by the way, I gotta take care of other family things here. Is there ever a time where you look and go, I'm losing out on parts of time here just because I am so busy? Either work suffers or MMA suffers or being a father suffers. I mean, is there ever, parts of your day you just feel overwhelmed because of everything?
Yeah, 100%. I think that any fighter that has any kind of like secondary obligation outside of MMA, and they feel the same thing. And it's like, you put the focus in on what's important to you. So like when my kids have a game, like if they have a game or they have something like that, I don't miss it. I don't care what practice it is. I don't care like whatever it is. Like I don't care. I'll make it up. I'll go work out earlier or I'll go work out later, whatever I have to do. So with my kids, like I don't miss any of their stuff. I go to every single game I can. I maybe miss a handful of games every month, maybe. But I have four kids and they all four girls and they all do sports. So, it's hard to make that for any parent. But for me to be a full time athlete and to be fighting consistently as I am, I get my training in and I go to all their games. I do work every day, but I make sure that my work doesn't affect their school or their training or like their workouts or their time at at their sport. So I try not to make it so selfish because it's such a selfish sport if you're doing it like that. But like for me, my family is more important than MMA. But this is just that dream that I've been chasing for so long, and now that I'm at the top of where I have been. I haven't been this high up in the rankings. I haven't been making this much money. I haven't been doing all the stuff that I'm getting to do now. So now it kind of feels like it's actually paying off because, I've been doing it for so long and it hasn't been paying off. That's why I've been forced to work. I've been forced to miss a certain, game or two or something like that. But now I'm able to, really take full advantage of my time and, spend a lot more with my family and a lot more in the gym too.
I know when we say retirement, word retirement, you're not that old. You're 33 years old. So it's not like, you're getting old there. But is there a part where you're thinking about that just because, as you said, you have 4 girls, so they're getting older. And I'm guessing going, I don't want to miss out when, they have their sweet 16 or when they go their first prom or when they go up to college or when, they graduate from high school. Because I've heard the stories when the fighters like, crap, we missed out on all this stuff here. Oh, crap, I missed out on my daughter's 16th birthday party. Oh, crap, I was training for a world title. I missed my daughter's graduation. Is there I guess a moment where you're looking, going, okay, I'm going to fight for X amount of years before I just go back and, become daddy and become, watch them all grow up and not miss, all these big, monumental events?
No, man. So I got such a great manager, Jason House, in our sports agency, and what I tell him, I'm like, hey, I have a trip planned with my family on this date. I want to fight before then, so let's get on it, as soon as possible. So I already have a trip planned to Mexico directly after this flight. So my girls are going to go to Vegas and they're going to be there, and then we're going to leave from Vegas to go to my trip. And as far as like me missing out on anything like that, that would never happen because I know what's important to me. And like just yesterday, I was at my daughter's last soccer game of the season, and I have a really nice camera, and I'm sitting there in the stands taking pictures of her, and she looked up at me and smiled and then waved her hand. And this kid, she's 13 years old. She's in 7th grade, and it made my day because it's like it was cool to see that she realized I was there. She knows I was there. She knows what I do to make sure that she has whatever she had, like whatever she needs. And so for me, I would never miss anything like that. I put my family first, 100%. I do my training completely around everyone else's schedule. Like I make sure that it doesn't mess up their schedule. There is nights where I have to leave in the middle of dinner or something like that and go train, and but I always sit down with them, and start dinner, and then towards the end of dinner when they're going to bed, that's when I go train. And I make sure that I get my workouts in, but I don't let it affect my kids, and I try not to let it affect my wife. But she's such a big support, and everything that I do that she definitely she probably gets the worst out of everybody is my wife because she has to kind of make up for stuff that I'm not able to do. So, but I try not to ever let my kids be affected by my training and by my fighting. So, I would never miss anything that was like monumental, like big like that. So, it's just my mindset with it.
Last question for let you go. And once again, it's Damon Jackson versus Derek Miner on June 4th at UFC Fight Night 207. Before that, as you mentioned before, your first time out, you lost to Yancy Medeiros, draw against Levon Makashvi, and no contact against Ronnie Jason. Come back next time. Win over Charles Rosa. Win over Kamala Kirk. Win over Mirsad Bektik, which you talk about beast. There's the guy, he is better than any, when you beat him, he was better than anybody you ever faced. He only loses to top contenders or, knockout artists, whether it's Josh Emmett, Dan Inge, Darren Elkins. What changed? What was the biggest change for you where you're losing to guys like Ronnie Jason to now beating guys like Mirsad Bektik and, it's night and day? Like, what was the biggest change that made you going from winning to losing?
My style as far as like my overall style hasn't really changed a lot. I just I think it's mainly the mindset of I'm gonna go forward and I don't care who it is. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna go forward and put the pressure on people and actually go for submissions and not be scared to like actually go full commitment. Because before I was fighting Ronnie Jason, and I was so scared to take him to the ground because I was like, like I've got great wrestling and I can take him down easy, but he's got great jiu-jitsu. And so I was smashing him the whole time in the first round. And then he ends up like we got reset for some bullshit illegal knee call. And so we got reset, and then we came back out. I took him back down. I landed in his full guard. And, just mentally, I was like panicking because I landed in his guard, and then he ended up catching me with the triangle. And instead of like doing my normal thing, normally I would fight so hard to get out of that. And I just went straight into, I acted like I didn't know what I was doing. And then the Makashvili fight, he was running the whole time. And I hadn't been working on my boxing and my kicks while people were running. So all I wanted to do was wrestle him, and he wouldn't let me close the distance to wrestle. And then, Yancey Medeiros, I just got caught so quick that, but as far as my overall style, I don't feel like it's changed as much. It's just really my mindset is that I'm going to go after everyone, and I'm going to do my game plan against everyone. And I don't really care what their game plan is and what they do, because I know how good I am on the ground and where I want to take the fight and how I can get it there. And so my mindset is really the biggest thing that's changed overall. And, just keeping with coach, man, we've went through a lot, and, getting to hear that consistent coaching has, been a huge factor in who I am.
Very happy, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, it's all the way on June 4th. It's going to be him versus Derek Meyer. We're looking forward to it. I give you, the Leech himself. I give you Damon Jackson. Damon, before I let you go, where can fans check you out at? Where is the Twitter page, Instagram, website, and who are the sponsors that have been helping you out, along the line?
Well, you guys, a lot of people have heard, but Marshall, Rogan, and you, man, these guys are the real deal. Like, they really are helping everyone out. A huge shout out to them. But all my social media is Damon B. Jackson, and that's on Twitter and Instagram. I don't really use Facebook, but I do have a Facebook. But I don't really do a whole lot on anything. So I'm posting consistently on Instagram, and then I'm talking some smack on Twitter, trying to keep fights going consistently. I want to have this fight, and then I have a good idea. I have like 2 or 3 names that I'm going to go at, and hopefully someone's ready to go in September. I want to fight soon, right after this fight.
Damon Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, once again, always an honor, pleasure to have you on the show, and glad to see you back in action. We come back. Stay tuned for more great interviews only on its Last Call. Last Call with the Alcohol, only on the Last Call YouTube channel.